Word. The word. Got y'all on one of those tables with the holes in it. Like a, kind of like a chain link fence, but it's like mesh steel. And this one's like not rubber coated, but like plastic coated. And I thought the Father wanted me to do this reading at a Chick-fil-A. So there's going to be a Chick-fil-A reading coming up, but not today. Read them right outside Chick-fil-A. But a whole bunch of people, and we did the reading outside the Uncommon Grounds the other day. But I just don't like, like people are eating their dinner. I don't want to be yelling at a camera, and just like by myself. Maybe with another person it seems a little bit more conversational. Hey, let's read the word, and but I don't know. It just seems like, to me, like if I saw the person doing that, like I wouldn't want to be a part of what they were doing. You know what I mean? I'd be like, nah, that person's crazy. And so I'm fine with being looked at as crazy, but like if the idea is to advocate for Yahweh, then that would not make me feel like that's something I want to be a part of. There's a white car there as well. They're not turning in though. I don't know whose place this is. This is some business down the road from me. They got some dope ass lights that are going to be the picture. Let's see if I can. Oh, I got you all set up. That's okay. They're all color changing. I'm bugging out on them. I'll probably take another picture of the unit there. No bathrooms, but it's a shorter reading today. We've got 3 chapters, and they're not 18 pages apiece. So, should be under 2 hours today. Took me a couple extra days to upload the other videos because of Shabbat. We were in the middle of the Vermont wilderness, completely bushcrafted our way. We carved out all the campsites. There was no trees left, and so we pretty much cleared the land just for Shabbat. And this was like a crystal clear undiscovered lake, and we didn't have to pay the state at all because they said it was Yah's land. Well, nobody said. We said it was Yah's land. Yah said it was his land. And so we just walked up and started clearing trees out and put some tents down. And for Sukkot, we're going to not even bring the tents. We're just going to use the trees that we clear, and we're going to make sukkahs. And I'm looking at this lawn here, and it's like, this lawn that whole thing was made up. Now, we paid for state campgrounds, which if anybody does that, it's like annoying as crap to me because it is Yah's land. And so how are you going to charge me to use it? And it's like, I don't mind paying, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that cheap, but it's just that this is God's land. You don't own this. You don't by any means own this. And the only reason that you can tell me that I have to pay you is because I pay you to tell me that I have to pay you with my taxes. For those of you who didn't get the association. I'm going to show you all these yellow flowers too. Apparently, I'm just lost in the sauce today. I'm kind of tired. I got 3 hours of sleep because we did yesterday's reading with that better angle. Yesterday's reading at 3 o'clock in the morning. We finished. The sun is beating on me, so praise Yahweh for sunscreen. SPF 50 from Badger, not JS Badger if you're watching this. BadgerBalm.com. Great organic products, aloe vera, sunscreen. Not a paid advertisement. YouTube would make me let you know. And there's a bottle opener here, which I'm not going to take because that's stealing. Father Yahuwah, thank you for your word, first and foremost. Thank you for your physical word, the black and white text. And thank you for your son, Yeshua HaMashiach, who is the word and represented the word and taught us how to better do the word. Father, we love you and we supplicate ourselves to you. And just for the people, we are going to put our face in the ground today because The people need to see humility and humbleness at work. Sorry, I'm talking to you, yeah, not them. The people need to see humility and humbleness at work. And I always pray on my knees, but a little bit extra ain't gonna hurt, because you are worthy. And worthy is the Lamb, your Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Father, fill me up with your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit, that I may be the words, that I may speak the words that you give me to speak, and be the vessel you use to convey your message and your word properly to the people who hear what they need to hear by my mouth and your Spirit. Father Yahuwah, I pray all this in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, the mighty, mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach, in who we have power and authority. In Yeshua's name, amen. Okay. My book flipped me back to 1st Ezra, and I'm just going to read that real quick. And in the first year of Koresh, sovereign of Persia, that the word of Yahuwah by the mouth of Nehemiah might be accomplished, Yahuwah stirred up the spirit of Koresh, sovereign of Persia, to proclaim throughout all his reign and also in writing, saying, Thus said Koresh, sovereign of Persia, Yahuwah, Elohim of the heavens, has given me all the reins of the earth, and he has commanded me to build him a house in Yerushalayim, which is in Yehuda. Okay, and that's all we need of that. And we are in Nehemiah chapter 10, and today is day 169, I believe. And those who set their seal were Nehemiah the governor, son of Hakaliah, Sadiqiah, Seraiah, Azariah, Yermiah, Pashur, Amariah, Malkiah, Hattush, Shebaniah, Maluk, Harim, Meremoth, Obadiah, Daniel, Ginnathon, Baruch, Meshullam, Abiah, Miamin, Maaziah, Bilgai, and Shemaiah. These were the priests. And the Levites, both Yeshua, son of Atzaniah, bin Uai, of the sons of Hanadad, Kadmiel, and their brothers, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Kalida, Pelaiah, Hanan, Micah, Rehob, Hashabiah, Zakur, Sherebiah, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Bani, Beninu, the leaders of the people, Parosh, Pahath, Moab, Ilam, Zatu, Bani, Buni, Azgad, Bebai, Adoniah, Bigwai, Adin, Ater, Hezekiah, Azur, Hodiah, Hashum, Betzai, Harith, Anathoth, Nabai, Magpiash, Meshullam, Hazir, Mesh, Izabel, Sadak, Yadua, Pelatiah, Hanan, Anayah, Hoshea, Hananiah, Hashashub, Halahesh, Pila, Shobek, Rehum, Hashabna, Maaseyah, Hashub, Halahesh, Pila, Shobek, Rehum, Hashabna, Maaseyah, Ahiyah, Hanan, Anan, Maluk, Harim, Ba'anah, and the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, the Nethinim, and all those who had separated themselves from the peoples of the land unto the Torah of Elohim, their wives, their sons, and their daughters, all who had knowledge and understanding, were strengthening their brothers, their nobles, and entering into a curse and into an oath to walk in the Torah of Elohim, which was given by Moshe to the servant of Elohim, and to guard and do all the commands of Yahuwah our master, and his right rulings and his laws, and that we would not give our daughters as wives to the people of the land, nor take their daughters for our sons. And that if the peoples of the land bring wares or any grain to sell on the Sabbath day, we would not buy it from them on the Sabbath, or on a set-apart day, and we would forego the 7th year in the interest of every hand. And we impose commands on ourselves to give from ourselves yearly 1/3 of a shekel for the service of the house of our Elohim, for the showbread and for the continual grain offering, for the continual ascending offering for the Sabbath of the Sabbaths, of the new moons for the appointed times and for the set-apart gatherings, and for the sin offerings, to make atonement for Yisrael and all the work of the house of our Elohim. And we cast lots among the priests and the Levites and the people for bringing the wood offering into the house of our Elohim, according to our fathers' houses, at the appointed times, year by year, to burn on the slaughter place of Yahuwah our Elohim, as it is written in the Torah, and to bring the first fruits of our soil, and the first fruits of all fruit of all trees, year by year, to the house of Yahuwah. Also to bring the firstborn of our sons and our livestock, as it is written in the Torah, and the firstlings of our heads and our flocks to the house of our Elohim, to the priests attending in the house of our Elohim, and that we should bring the first fruits of our dough and our contributions, and the fruit from all kinds of trees, of new wine and of oil, to the priests, to the storerooms of the house of our Elohim, and the tithes of our land to the Levites, for the Levites should receive the tithes in all our rural towns. And the priest, son of Aaron, shall be with the Levites when the Levites receive tithes. And the Levites bring up 1/10 of the tithe to the house of our Elohim, to the rooms of the storehouse. For the children of Yisrael and the children of Levi bring the offering of the grain, of the new wine, and the oil to the storerooms where the vessels of the set-apart place are, where the priests who attend and the gatekeepers and the singers are, and we should not neglect the house of our Elohim. Okay. Sorry about the going off camera there. Took my socks off. This grass, as I showed you, I believe is lush. So just letting it tickle my toes. So there is some... Chapter starts out with 27 lines of those who set their seal. And so what is the seal, you might ask? And if we go up to 9:36, see, we are servants today in the land that you gave to our fathers to eat its fruit and the good of it. See, we are servants in it. And its rich yield goes to the sovereigns you have set over us because of our sins. And they rule over our bodies and our livestock at their pleasure. And we are in great distress. And because of this, we are making a trustworthy pledge and write it. And our rulers, our Levites, our priests set their seal on it. So this is basically just that they're making a new covenant to Yahuwah. Go back to 32. And now our Elohim, the great, the mighty and awesome El, guarding the covenant and the loving commitment. Let not all the trouble that has come upon us, our sovereigns and our heads, our priests and our prophets, our fathers, and all your people from the days of the sovereign of Ashur until this day seem little before you. So they're basically saying, like, can we please come out of jail now? We've done our time. And in all that has come upon us, you are righteous, for you have done truth, but we have done wrong. And so this is basically, the seal is like they're writing the pledge, they're writing the covenant and saying, Yahuwah, we will do this. And these are the names of the men who set their seal on it. Kind of cool that they all had seals, like those things that get stamped in wax. Like you drip the wax on it and then you have like a press that you push through. This is rededication of, yeah, because 9 was going over the loving commitment of Yah. And they're reading the Torah and they're understanding it and they're basically vowing to do the Torah again. Cool. first guys, I believe, are Nehemiah's lineage, son of Hakalah and Sadiq and all these other guys. This is his lineage. And then these were the priests and the Levites, both Yeshua, son of Atzaniah ben Ubi, of the sons of Hadad, Camiel, and their brothers, the leaders of the people. Okay, and then we go through. I was trying to think of something crafty and creative to call this, but it's just like, it sounds like a Hebrew prayer, honestly. Verse 28, and the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, the Nethinim, and all those who had separated themselves from the people of their land unto the Torah of Elohim, their wives, their sons, and their daughters, all who had knowledge and understanding, were strengthening their brothers, their nobles, and were entering into a curse and into an oath to walk in the Torah of Elohim, which was given by Moshe, the servant of Elohim, and to guard and do all the commands of Yahweh, our master, and his right rulings and his laws, and that we would not give our daughters as wives to the peoples of the land, nor take their daughters for our sons, and that if the peoples of the land bring wares or any grain to sell on the Sabbath day, we would not buy it from them on the Sabbath or on a set apart day, and we would forego the 7th year and the interest of the hand. One of the most apparently interesting things about this covenant, obviously we already saw in Nehemiah the taking interest. I want to say it was 5. Yeah. Nehemiah 5:10, and also I, my brothers and my servants, am lending them silver and grain. Please let us leave off this interest. This is Nehemiah talking to the deputy rulers and the nobles, basically the people with the money. And he says, please stop charging them interest and forego the 7th year. And we would forego the 7th year in the interest of every hand. The Shema year, I think it's called. Every 7 years you give the land a rest, so that's foregoing the 7th year. Sabbath, we all know, is the 4th command. Remember my Sabbath day, set it apart and keep it holy. Kodesh, we might see more about 30. 11 is the last chapter in Nehemiah, and I don't know if he touches on all of Ezra 10, which we read together, basically Ezra 9 and 10, but basically in 9 we see, how is it said? (9:1) And when these matters had been done, the leaders came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the peoples of the land as to their abominations, those of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Mitzrites, and the Amorites, for they have taken some of their daughters as wives for themselves and their sons, so that the set-apart seed is intermingled with the peoples of those lands, and the hand of the leaders and the rulers have been foremost in this trespass. The leaders of Israel are the foremost in this trespass. And then as we get into 10, we see all the consequences of that. They basically give up their wives and families, separate them, and they all get divorces based on Ezra saying this is the right thing to do and you will do this or you will be exiled from Israel. And then in Nehemiah, this covenant is made. So timeline wise, it would be interesting to see if this was before or after this, if this is like a part of the new covenant that's made, or if this was something that they did and then the Israelites broke. But I think it was something, it had to be after, I would assume, because the wall's already built at this point. So I think this is probably Ezra is dealing with the realization of these actions now that they know how wrong that action is, and they've taken a covenant not to do it again. The other thing I want to talk about is Deuteronomy 28. Oh yeah. 28, we could read the whole thing. It's a really long chapter. It's 68 verses, but it goes through the blessings and the curses of the consequences of doing what you do not do in the eyes of Yahweh. And then basically what will happen if you don't. Things like Yahweh shall bring a nation against you from far away. You shall serve your enemies. Your sons and daughters are given to another people, and your eyes look and fail for them all day long, and your hand is powerless. Your life shall be hanging in suspense before you, and you shall fear night and day and not be certain of your life. This one is one that hit me when I first heard it, and now I don't experience it anymore. Praise Yahweh. 67, in the morning you say, oh, that it were evening, and at the evening you say, oh, that it were morning, because of the fear of your heart with which you fear, and because of the sight which your eyes see. So if you're somebody who wakes up and you're like, oh, I'm ready for it to be, bedtime, and then you go to bed and you're like, oh, I just want it to be morning, that verse is for you, and that is because you're cursed by Yahweh right now, and you need to get your stuff in order. I remember going to work every day, and it'd be like, I just want to come home and smoke and chill and, do nothing and, do bad stuff on the computer. And I had that feeling. It was like I just want the day to end, that was what the center of my day was. And it wasn't blessed are you in the city and blessed are you in the field. Blessed is the fruit of your body and the fruit of your ground and the fruit of your livestock, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flock. Blessed is your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed are you when you come in, and blessed are you when you go out. That wasn't what it was, the beginning of 28, but you should read 28 by yourself. Bear actually said it today as well, so there's two witnesses right there. He'd also brought up Revelation 4, which came up at Shabbat yesterday, and Yahweh is worthy of your worship. As we see here. We got Sabbaths, we got daughters. Certain people, you are allowed to intermarry with. Certain people you're not, at certain time frames. Deuteronomy is like a great book. The book to read. Verse 25:4, do not muzzle an ox while it is threshing. You should meditate on that and ask yourself why. While it is threshing. Okay. I'm looking for the Torah on the time frame, because it's like Mitzrites can be married after 10 years. Certainly. Certainly it's in Deuteronomy somewhere. But we're not going to read it today. Because we're not finding it. Maybe it is in 28. It's just such a long, comprehensive chapter of like threats from Yah. You know what I mean? It's like you want to read the character of your God that you say is all love. Like, read Deuteronomy 28. He does love you. He wants the best for you. He's also willing to punch you in your mouth and break teeth and kick you in your face and do a whole bunch of things that you would say are not nice. I would say that too. But he loves us, and so that's why he does this. And I love you, so I'm going to stop looking for this because we could be here all night and not quite find it. Yeah, do you want to tell me where it is? Yahuwah, where is this? Oh, which I'm looking for. All right, cool. Nehemiah chapter 10, verse 32, and we impose commands on ourselves to give from ourselves yearly 1/3 of a shekel for the service of the house of our Elohim, for the showbread, and for the continual grain offering, and for the continual ascending offering of the Sabbaths, of the new moons, for the appointed times, and for the set-apart offerings, and for the sin offerings, to make atonement for Israel and all the work of the house of Elohim. And I want it noted there that that is my inability to see, not Yahweh's inability to deliver. And we impose commands on ourselves. They're holding themselves accountable. Yearly 1/3 of a shekel. They're giving offerings and tithing and voluntary offerings and set-apart offerings, and they're going to keep the Sabbath and the new moons and the appointed times and all the work of the house of our Elohim. So they're going to start keeping the Levitical laws as they should, because they're literally Levites. And we cast lots among the priests and the Levites and the people for bringing the wood offering into the house of our Elohim, according to our fathers' houses, at the appointed times, year by year, to burn on the slaughter place of Yahuwah our Elohim, as it is written in the Torah, the Levitical law, and to bring the first fruits of our soil and the first fruits of all fruit of all trees year by year to the house of Yahuwah. Also to bring the firstborn of our sons and our livestock, as it is written in the Torah, and the firstlings of our herds and our flocks to the house of our Elohim, to the priests attending in the house of our Elohim. There's so much Levitical law that we don't do because we don't have a physical high priest here on earth. So that's why I don't touch on a lot of that. As we need to consult Leviticus, we will. But as far as like sacrifices and stuff, like it's just not as pertinent as just reading the book and knowing the requirements and the physical duties. And I mean, constant offerings, just like all voluntary offerings, morning, evening, ascending, guilt, sin, so many offerings, and a motorcycle. And that we should bring the first fruits of our dough and our contributions and the fruit from all kinds of trees of new wine and of oil to the priests, to the storerooms of the house of our Elohim, and the tithes of our land to the Levites. For the Levites should receive the tithes in all our rural towns. And the priest, son of Aaron, shall be with the Levites when the Levites receive tithes, and the Levites bring up a tenth of the tithes to the house of our Elohim, to the rooms of the storehouse. So you tithe a tenth, and then the Levites basically tithe a tenth to be hidden away. So that is their tithe, because they get access to basically what Yahuwah has. I think it's the ascending offering that the Levites can eat. There's one offering that the Levites get to eat a part of, and that's basically where they get their food from. And I think too, the first fruits, and so then a tenth of that, so 1% of all Israel's gain goes into the storerooms. Who are those who hate preppers? It's like 1%, and we can prep overboard. Verse 39, for the children of Israel and the children of Levi bring the offering of the grain and the new wine and the oil to the storerooms where the vessels of the set-apart place are, where the priests who attend and the gatekeepers and the singers are, and we should not neglect the house of our Elohim. Yeah, we should not neglect the house of our Elohim. And where is that house now? Anybody? Shout it out when you know it. I heard you. Somebody on the other end just got it. Okay. So, we're going to start at Hebrews 10. Oh, Saucon got it. Cool. And their sins and their lawlessness I shall remember no more. That's Jeremiah 31:34. Now, where there is a forgiveness of these, there is no longer a slaughter offering for sin. So, brothers, having boldness to enter into the set-apart place by the blood of Yeshua, we, by a new and living way which he instituted for us through the veil, that is his flesh, and having a high priest over the house of Elohim, let us draw near with a true heart and completeness of belief, having our hearts sprinkled from a wicked consciousness and our bodies washed with cold water. Let us hold fast the confession of our expectation without yielding, for he who promised is trustworthy. So, we are the temple. There's a better verse than that. But the answer is, we are the temple. Hebrews is going to be a book. Hebrews needs a lot more attention by me. But it's in there. Oh, you know what? It's in there somewhere. Just like the, I mean, I guess I could just Google them. This is what was nice about having the other people there, like Paul and Nathan. They both were just on the Google machines. Like, where is this verse? Where is this verse? I guess I could just do that. Yahoo, can I Google machine these? Negative. Nehemiah 11. Now the rulers of the people dwelt at Jerusalem, and the rest of the people cast lots to bring out one out of 10 to dwell in Jerusalem, the set-apart city, and 9/10 were to dwell in other cities. And the people blessed all the men who volunteered to dwell at Jerusalem. And these are the heads of the province who dwelt in Jerusalem, but in the cities of Yehuda everyone dwelt in his own possession in their cities. Israel, the priests and the Levites, and the Nethinim, and the sons of Shalomo's servants. And in Jerusalem dwelt certain of the children of Yehuda, and of the children of Benjamin. Of the children of Yehuda, Athaiah, son of Uzziah, son of Zechariah, son of Amariah, son of Shephatiah, son of Mahalalel. Of the children of Peretz, and Maaseiah, son of Baruch, son of Kol-Hoseh, son of Haziah, son of Adaiah, son of Yeyorib, son of Zechariah, son of Shaloni. All the sons of Peretz who dwelt at Jerusalem were 468 brave men. And these are the sons of Benjamin: Salu, son of Meshullam, son of Yawed, son of Pedaiah, son of Kolaiah, son of Maaseiah, son of Ithael, son of Yeshiah, and after him Gabai, Salai, 928. And Yoel, son of Zikri, was their overseer, and Yehuda, son of Senuah, was second over the city. Of the priests, Yedaiah, son of Yeyorib, Yakin, Sariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Sadak, son of Merayoth, son of Ahitub, was the leader of the house of Elohim. And the brothers who did the work of the house were 822. And Adaiah, son of Yeraham, son of Pelaliah, son of Amsi, son of Zechariah, son of Pashur, son of Melchiah, and his brothers, heads of the fathers' houses, were 242. And Amashai, son of Azarel, son of Azai, son of Meshillamoth, son of Immer, and their brothers, mighty brave ones, were 128. And their overseer was Zabdiel, son of the great ones. Also of the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, son of Buni, and Shebethai and Yozabad, of the heads of the Levites, over the outside work of the house of Elohim, and Mataniah, son of Micah, son of Zabdi, son of Asaph, who was the leader who began the thanksgiving with prayer, and Bakbukyah, the second among his brothers, and Abda, son of Shemua, son of Galal, son of Yeduthan. All the Levites in the set-apart city were 284. And the gatekeepers, Akub, Talmon, and their brothers, keeping guard at the gates, were 172. And the rest of Israel, of the priests, Levites, were in all the cities of Yehuda, each one in his inheritance. But the Nethinim dwelt in Ophel, and Shia and Gishpa were over the Nethinim. And the overseer of the Levites at Jerusalem was Uzi, son of Bani, son of Hashabiah, son of Mataniah, son of Micah. Of the sons of Asaph, the singers were over the work of the house of Elohim. For the sovereign's command was upon them, and support for the singers a matter day by day. And Pathiah, son of Meshizabel, of the children of Zerah, son of Yehuda, was the sovereign's deputy in all matters concerning the people. And at the villages with their fields, some of the children of Yehuda dwelt in Kiriath Arba and its villages, and in Dibon and its villages, and in Yekeb Seel and its villages, and in Yeshua, and in Moladah, and in Beth Pelet, and in Hatzar Shaul, and in Beersheba and its villages, and in Siklag, and in Mekona and its villages, and in En-Ramon, and in Sora, and in Yarmuth, and Zanoah, Adolam and their villages, in Lachish and its fields, in Azekah and its villages. So they dwelt from Beersheba to the valley of Hamon. And the children of Benjamin from Geba, Michmash, Ayah, and Bethel and their villages, Anathoth, Nob, Ananiah, Hatzor, Ramah, Gideam, Gittayim, Hadid, Seboim, Nebalat, Lod, and Ono, and the valley of craftsmen. And the Levites, the divisions of Yehuda, were for Benjamin. So I thought that we were doing, oh yeah, tomorrow we'll finish the book of Nehemiah, not today. We have a lot more genealogy today. Oh boy, that's just, it's not even genealogy, it's just lists of names. This guy Nehemiah, he's like, bruh, like he's like tracking people like Siri at this point. Now the rulers of the people dwelt at Jerusalem, and the rest of the people cast lots to bring 1 out of 10 to dwell in Jerusalem, the set apart city, and 9/10 were to dwell in other cities. Sounds about like our 10th tithe. And the people blessed all the men who volunteered to dwell at Jerusalem. And these are the heads of the province who dwelt in Jerusalem, but in the cities of Yehuda, everyone dwelt in his own possession in their cities. Yisrael, the priests, and the Levites, and the Nethanim, and the sons of Shalomo's servants. The heads of the province who dwelt in Jerusalem. And in Jerusalem dwelt certain of the children of Yehuda, of the children of Benjamin. These guys, all the sons of Peretz who dwelt at Jerusalem, were 468 brave men. These are the sons of Benjamin. Yoel, son of Zikri, was their overseer, and Yehuda, son of Senuah, of the priests. And their brothers, verse 12, who did the work of the house, were 822. And Adaiah, son of Yeraham, son of Peliah, son of Amsi, son of Zechariah, son of Pashur, son of Malchiah, and his brothers, heads of the fathers' houses, were 242. And Amashai, son of Azarel, son of Azai, son of Meshulamoth, son of Emer. And their brothers, mighty brave ones, were 128, and their overseer was Zabdiel, son of the great ones. These are just a whole bunch of names and a whole bunch of numbers. And the gatekeepers, all the Levites, the rest of the priests, but the Nethanim dwelt in Ophel. Honestly, like, there's just a lot of like documentation and records here. So I'm not. The singers were over the work of the house of Elohim, for the sovereign's command was upon them, and support for the singers a matter day by day. So at the villages with their fields, some of the children of Yehuda dwelt in Kiriath Arba and its villages, and in Dibon and its villages, and in Yabesgael and its villages. And these are some village names that don't exist anymore. And why are we reading this? You know what I mean? Because even like I don't get excited about this, but it's important to know and understand the word. And like maybe on my 19th read through of this, I'll be like, oh, that person goes there, and here's the overlap here. And this is just so much detail, and it's, never do you hear people quote the book of Nehemiah and like, or really Ezra, and these are probably why. Like I brought up a Nehemiah thing because I'm reading it at Shabbat, and people were like, oh yeah, totally, we know that passage. And so it's like, I don't know. And then the next chapter is also, I'm just looking at it, a whole bunch of names and stuff. So yeah, so that's the documentation for today of Israel a couple thousand years ago. And the only thing that I want to really go over is verse 30. So they dwelt from Beersheba to the valley of Hinnom, and we talked about this the other day, basically as Acts 1, the field of blood. So this is the field of blood, is the valley of Hinnom, which happens to be where Judas hung himself and exploded all his guts out everywhere, and they called it Hakaldima. That is the field of blood, as Acts 1:19 demonstrates. Gotta say, I definitely prefer doing this in more populated areas, just not like as populated. What am I gonna, like, that just, they're gonna, like, if people see me reading that, like, I like having people walk by and stuff, and, you know, but, like, if I'm sitting there, like, there's 5 tables out here, I'm sitting in front of a Chick-fil-A with 5 tables, I'm gonna be, like, of families eating dinner, and I'm just, like, forget about how I'm gonna feel, but I'm gonna scare them away. Or maybe I won't. Maybe people wouldn't even be able to hear me. Maybe they wouldn't be paying attention to me. Maybe Yahweh would have blessed it, as he blesses everything. But so maybe more populated areas. I like witnessing when I'm able to do this, even though you guys are the witnesses. You guys are the ones who are supposed to be learning from this, and so I hope that you do. And tell people about it, because everybody needs to read the Word, and we're going to read the entirety of the Word together. Well, you know, through electronics and stuff. One more water. It's past coffee time at this point. I started drinking coffee again on Shabbat. I stopped drinking coffee for a couple days. And then this guy puts the coffee on the table and he goes, "Iced coffee's over here." And I'm like, oh, okay. Just runs up and screams it. Shout out Rob. Big tall guy, played Shaul, the head above all the other Israelites in the play that my friend Zach put on. My brother Zach put on incredibly. Now we're in Acts 4. And as they were speaking to the people, the priests and the captain of the set-apart place and the Sadducees came upon them, being annoyed because they taught the people and announced the resurrection from the dead in Yeshua, and they arrested them and put them in jail until the next day, for it was already evening. But many of those who had heard the word believed, and the number of the men became about 5,000. And it came to be on the next day that their rulers and elders and scribes assembled in Jerusalem, as well as Hanan the priest and Caiaphas and Johanan and Alexander, and as many as were of high priestly descent. And having placed them in the middle, they asked, "By what power or in what name did you do this?" Then Kepha, filled with the set-apart spirit, said to them, "Rulers of the people and elders of Israel, if today we are called to account for a good deed toward a sick man by whom he has been healed, let it be known to all of you and to all the people of Israel that in the name of Yeshua Messiah of Nazareth, whom you impaled, whom Elohim raised from the dead, by him this one stands before you healthy. This is the stone which was rejected by you builders, which has become the chief cornerstone. And there is no deliverance in anyone else, for there is no other name under the heaven given among men by which we need to be saved." And seeing the boldness of Kepha and Johanan, and perceiving that they were unlearned and ordinary men, they marveled. And they recognized that they had been with Yeshua. And seeing the man who had been healed standing with them, they could not contradict it. But when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they consulted with one another, saying, "What shall we do to these men? For indeed that an outstanding miracle has been done through them is apparent to all those dwelling in Jerusalem, and we are unable to deny it." Okay. We are going to pause this here.